What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got loads of I Do Work Here Lady stories for you. My boss fooled me. This happened more than a few years ago when I worked for an online gaming company. I worked in Worlds, as we called it, planning events, customer service, and staff-run fantasy characters that augmented the virtual world storyline. I also worked in the background designing art, interactive locales, web design, etc., and other tech stuff I won't bore you with. Now, I was known for my way of making new members feel welcome, and one day while I was in Worlds enjoying some downtime on my avatar, I came upon a new member, or as we called them, newbies. She was dressed in the new issue body, clothes, and standard issue head and looking rather lost. I bopped on over and introduced myself with a loud and happy, "Hello! You must be new. Welcome to blah." I hope your world isn't actually called blah. That wouldn't be very interesting. The newbie replied she had just hatched and had no idea what to do next. I was tickled. What followed was 2 to 3 hours of me happily showing her around the world, introducing her to other players, helping her get her own home or turf. We had a blast. Finally, she had to log out, so we said our goodbyes and I bopped away to work on some new art installations. Fast forward to our next staff meeting. Normally they were run by our manager, so we were surprised to find the director in the meeting room waiting for us. We all sat down and had our usual crazy, everyone talking at once, we are all drunk on ideas meeting. Then the director stood up and started talking about how she was curious about our customer service. So she created a new avatar and came in Worlds. I jumped. I started to get an oh no feeling. The director went on about how she felt and what a great time she had. I was 50 Shades of Red Lamau. She never mentioned my name, for which I was very grateful. But a few days later, we were working together on an interactive art installation, and I said, "You tricked me." She laughed. "I got you so good." We spent 5 minutes or more just howling laughing. I told her I'm glad I tried to be nice to all the newbies. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, this story absolutely reminds me of Undercover Boss. I honestly think that more bosses should do this just to understand how every part of their company works. Can you imagine if OP had been rude, unhelpful, and just horrible? Oh, that would have been so bad. But yeah, I think it's great for your boss to understand that she chose the right person when she employed you. It's all well and good acting well when your boss is around, but you have to be a good employee when your boss isn't there and be nice and helpful to everyone. So well done to your boss for doing this experiment, and well done to you, OP, for being a good person. Now for our second story. Security thought I was homeless. Last summer, I worked as a student for a casino/hotel company, which has 5 locations across the city, as a gardener. There were 4 of us, me as a student and the other 3 regularly employed workers. Our tasks were mowing the lawn, watering plants, cutting bushes, sweeping paved surfaces, etc. It was a well-paid job and the shift was also great, from 6 AM to 2 PM. Now this is important for later. Now for the main story. One day in the morning, we headed with a van to the biggest casino. One other co-worker and I needed to water plants while other 2 guys would mow the lawn. Just as we finished watering those plants, I realized I had to find a toilet quickly. The closest one was inside the casino, but you had to go through the doors, which are used for guests going from the casino to the terrace to smoke or whatever. Since there was no one there, in the mornings there is very little to no guests, I decided to go there. When I finished and came out from the toilet, there were 2 security personnel which apparently were waiting for me. I had some muddy pants on, gloves in pockets, and a t-shirt, which is prohibited inside this casino. In fact, I looked like a homeless person for them. I tried to explain I do work here, even showed the company's card ID, but it was without picture and my name since I was just a student, but they didn't believe me. They dragged me out, telling me they will call the police next time. I then went around the building back to my partner, who was already worried for me. I explained everything, and since he knew those 2 security guards, he went to them and explained to them that I do actually work there. They believed him, apologized to me for making a mess, but still told me I shouldn't be wandering inside the casino alone. Every now and then, my co-workers will still tease me about it, and we have a good laugh. I mean, I get it. I understand they were doing their jobs and they did it very professionally and politely, it sounds like. But what do they expect you to do next time you have to use the bathroom? Have your co-worker escort you? Come on, having you work without access to a toilet is potentially illegal, right? Now, we had another homeless story not too long ago on this subreddit, but I think this one was way better. Just because someone's muddy, it doesn't mean they're homeless. Come on. Now for our third story. No, I'm not interviewing, I work here. A few years ago, I'd worked for the company for over 5 years as a database administrator, DBA, and I was team lead for the database group. Over the previous year, I've been working remotely, so a few of the newer hires on the other teams in IT didn't know me by sight. We recently needed to hire a few more developers for the web team. I'd made it known to the management team that we need more developers with SQL experience, so the decision was made that I would sit in on the interviews rather than the others on my team. The day for the interview comes around and I'm in my office. I print out the resume for today's contestants. I'm the first to show up at the conference room with printouts in hand and have a seat. About 2 minutes later, a junior web developer and a business analyst walk in. Since I've never met them before, I stood up to shake their hands and introduce myself. Before I can say who I am, they start. The business analyst says, "A little underdressed for an interview?" Huh? I'm in blue jeans and a polo, normal attire for the office. The junior web developer says to me, "That's okay, do you have copies of your resume?" "Yeah, I have the one, I don't yet catch on at this point." "Wow, you people are never prepared." "Excuse me? How do you expect to get hired if you dress like that and don't bring copies of your resume?" I think I see the problem. But the junior web developer cuts me off. "I think you are the problem. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We're cancelling your interview." My mouth drops open. I hold up my work ID. "Do you know what that is?" The business analyst and the junior web developer's mouths fall open and all they could say was, "Yes, that's right, I work here." Now that I have your attention, like I was trying to say, I'm the DBA. I've worked here for 5 years. I know we've never met, but if this is how you treat future employees, I'll have to chat with my development manager. "But I'm sorry, can we start over, please?" I do have a sick sense of humor, so I realized that I now have ammunition for years to come. About 2 minutes later, the development manager shows up with the first contestant, the actual interviewee, and the games begin. I did have a little chat with the development manager about what happened, and we had a great laugh about it. Every time I have a meeting with those two, I always hold up my badge and announce that I still work here. Oh, amazing. Oh, dude, like you said, you have a position of power over them for the rest of your working life. If ever you need anything or they're being rude to you, you just hold up your badge and say, "Remember when you forgot that I worked here?" Yeah, you wouldn't want that to get out, would you? Maybe that's a little bit conniving, but that is a great idea. Think about it, right? If you went to the development manager and really put in a serious complaint, they could be in big trouble. So yeah, it's such a good thing to have in your back pocket. Now for our fourth story. Lady tries to kick me out of a shop I volunteer for. So, some backstory. I'm 13 years old and I play bagpipes in a band called the Glenfinnan Highlanders. We host all sorts of things like the Highland Games for those who live in Colorado, or if you just go there in general, we host other things like dinners, parties, and other things. Anyways, my bagpipe instructor's wife, BIW, opened a shop last Saturday and I helped them on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but this happened on the Monday. So on Monday at noon, I was sitting behind the counter in the back with all things bagpipe related. Oh, by the way, I completely forgot, a lot of you may not know what bagpipes are. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but you may not know. It's a Scottish instrument, you can see it on screen right now, and how you do it is you kind of squeeze air with your left hand and play the notes with your right hand and blow. To be honest, the instrument is interesting, but it's not the best sounding in my opinion. They don't have any badges with our names on it or real work uniforms, so I was in regular everyday clothes, and as I was explaining to a family about practice chanters, in comes Karen. At first she looked around before coming over to the counter I was at, and she waited until I was done talking to the family, and then she comes up. Well, at least she waited, we don't see that very often. What are you doing? I'm helping out with the owner of the shop today. No, you're too young. No, I'm not working for them, I'm helping. I start explaining to her about the band, but she cuts me off. No, you're not. I'm friends with the owner and you don't know her. The bagpipe instructor was in his full outfit with his kilt and everything. Sir, this young man is behind the counter when he isn't supposed to be. I'm very good friends with the owner. Oh, I've just clocked. I've got to give this guy a Scottish accent. Here we go. Ma'am, this is my student. He's helping us out today. He's fine. No, that's not right. Obviously, you don't work here either. Just then, the bagpipe instructor's wife walks out of the back. What is going on here? These two men harass me, don't work here, and are trying to steal things. No, this is my husband and his... No, I'm good friends with the owner of the shop and she isn't married. I've never met you in my life. I'm the owner of this shop and I need you to leave these two alone or buy something and leave, or just leave in general. You are. I will prove to you that I'm the owner. So the bagpipe instructor's wife walks to the back and grabs the papers that show the proof that she bought the building. Can I just say, it's a bit funny that she needs to do this, right? She shouldn't shouldn't have to do this. Karen is just being annoying. She shouldn't actually have to prove that she owns the place. Am I wrong? That's not you. Give me that. My point exactly. She went for it but missed because the bagpipe instructor's wife moved out of the way. You need to leave. No, show me some identification. The lady for some reason walks to the back and comes out with her ID, which I wouldn't have done, yet I totally agree with you, OP. Karen got red in the face and stormed off shouting and attempting to knock things over. She left and we just shook it off and had a good laugh afterwards. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if I was the owner, I'd be thinking to myself, who on earth is this person? Why is she in my shop? Just get out? I mean, who knows? Maybe another Karen said to this Karen that she owned this shop just to play with her. It would be a very entitled thing to do. Can you imagine that conversation? Oh, what do you do for work? Well, I own a bagpipe shop. Which one is it? That one. Yeah, definitely go in there. I'll get you some free stuff. I can just absolutely imagine that conversation happening between two entitled mums. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. You guys have really been enjoying this subreddit recently, so if you want more, check out the playlist on screen to binge through all of the episodes. Also, don't forget to like this video, comment your opinions down below, and subscribe for daily Reddit content on my channel. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new upload.